Welcome back, viewers, to LBS Response to episode number 105. So you guys, welcome back to another episode of my weekly Q&A series here on my channel, where pretty much I take about 10 to 15 of your guys' questions and answer them in a video like this. If your question is not answered this week, be sure to leave it down below for next week. And one easy tip, if you guys want me to see your question easier, would be leave hashtag AskLBS at the start of it. So let's get right into it. I guess first thing I want to say is a shout out to everyone, still donating towards that fundraiser I'm having on my channel the past couple days. Today is my mom's birthday. She passed away middle of 2020 due to pancreatic cancer. So I'm running a little fundraiser for a couple days here on the channel. Just kind of trying to raise as much money as possible, from the LifeBricks community. 100% of the money goes towards that charity. I get no percent of it. YouTube gets no percent of it. And tonight I will be doing a live stream, building a couple Lego Star Wars sets and just really chatting with you guys. And, again, trying to just raise as much money as possible for that. So with all that being said, let's get into the first question here, which actually kind of ties into that as well. We have Blaster Brick Studios. Ask LBS, do you own any custom Lego figures? If so, what's your favorite? So yeah, I've been collecting Lego for about 15 years now. So I've got a lot of Clone Army customs, Grandpa Clone customs, Republic Bricks customs, as well as a lot of decaled stuff. I've got some Bendel Bricks and other companies like that. And speaking of Bendel Bricks, my favorite custom I've had for about the last year and a half was actually a custom clone trooper that me and him had collaborated on. And it's pretty much a Phase 2 clone trooper inspired and kind of in honor of pancreatic cancer awareness. So it's actually a purple Phase 2 clone trooper. It's got the pancreatic cancer logo on it and just stuff like that. I'll show a picture on the screen. It's something that me and him kind of collaborated on. Of course, I kind of, went to him and said, hey, look, can we sell this? Again, you design it, you make it. And he said, yeah, sure, that's cool. And actually 100% of the profit that he made off those decals went towards, cancer, research as well. So that will always be probably my favorite in my collection. I've got about 5 or 6 of them, and there's that. Moving on to the next one, we have the average nerd right here. Week 4 of Ask LBS, and pretty much to sum up that question is, do I think there's actually any personal bias amongst the Lego Star Wars design team for the original trilogy sets compared to the prequel sets? And do they pretty much just make prequel sets to, say, silence the prequel fans and just kind of make them shut up for a little bit? So my quick thoughts on that, again, we'll never really know for sure. Lego's such a private company, and they'll never ever disclose that, and but I will be kind of curious to see, again, once that Jens guy retires, is there going to be a huge shift, directly after? But I think now, and I think for the past, say 5, 10, 15 years, I definitely think that's the case. And even more so, even if it's not, the sole factor of, say, shutting us up, the prequel fans up, I definitely think it's clear as day that a lot of the stuff they make, the decisions they do make for these prequel sets, they're not putting as much thought into it, and they're definitely cutting plenty of corners to whether, save money, save time, put out kind of a half-assed product nonetheless, because they know we're still going to buy it. They don't have to, say like with an X-Wing, like with X-Wings, every single one presumably is getting better. Of course, the last one was, much smaller, but a lot of these OT ships, you seem to really kind of see that trend of every single one getting better, more detailed, exclusive minifigures, good minifigure upgrades. But stuff like with these prequel sets, sometimes you're seeing, downgrades in vehicles. You're seeing, corners cut, minifigure selection being kind of weird. And I really do think that just comes down to the fact of they know that we'll still buy it, and again, like, I get it, I think it's safe to say, Lego's not dumb, they will know that they can put out some half-assed clone troopers in a battle pack and that they're still going to sell, 90% of what they would have, even if they made, good clone troopers. So I think that's really more so what it is. Again, we'll never know for sure, but I definitely think they're cutting corners on prequel sets, and that's just the bottom line of it. So yeah, definitely leave your thoughts down below, everyone. Do you genuinely think there's some bias in the design team room, or do you think it's solely based off of, their analytics team saying, look, like, again, we don't know the numbers of what they sell amongst their sets. Like, we don't know the quantity they make. We don't know how much they sell, the profit margins on each one. We don't know that for sure. So maybe it really is like their analytics team really truthfully saying, like, look, dude, like an X-Wing just, makes us more money. Like, that 2021 small X-Wing, has made us a lot more money than the fighter tank. I find it hard to believe, but maybe that is the case. So definitely leave your thoughts down below, everyone, but there's my thoughts. Moving on to Rep CN, and this is actually a question that I would never normally answer, but this is very coincidental since I went on a huge kind of Lego City kind of, binge these past couple days, and really reminiscing. So he pretty much says, what's your opinion on the Lego City theme? He likes the 2016 through 2018 era, and I gotta say, really quickly, is I think the more I've looked back into it, 2007 through 2010, in my opinion, is peak Lego City. I mean, I'll show up a couple of these sets on the screen. And again, I kind of got, put down that rabbit hole the past couple days due to a Reddit post I saw. And wow, man, I went through like all the 2007, 2008, 2009, City, Creator, Star Wars, Castle, all those sets, man. And that era is just so damn good, man. So for Lego City, not a theme that I normally collect, but I definitely think 07 through 010, or I guess 07 through 2010 is my favorite Lego City era, man. So next up we have Jay Vin. He says, are you planning on buying every new Lego Star Wars set that comes out? Your videos and streams are great. Keep up the great work. So my initial response to that is, I definitely plan on it. It's not like in my plans not to, but it really comes down to these days is what Lego Star Wars sets kind of make sense for me to buy. And when does it make sense? There's a lot of stuff, if I get it early, of course, it makes sense from a content perspective, a business perspective, a financial perspective as well. But there's also some stuff, say like with that Bausch Leia, that I just did not get it early. So, and it's not a fan favorite of mine, where I'm still going to get it. Like, I really do like that set still, but I'd much rather wait for a little 20, 30% off sale on it, not pay 70, but, say pay 56 or, pay 48, something like that. There's very few Lego Star Wars sets, maybe a couple of big ones. Again, you guys know my opinion on like the UCS Razor Crest, UCS AT-AT. Maybe I'll pick those up eventually if I get them for cheap enough, but there's definitely a couple that are kind of just like, look, like, if I get them super cheap, I'll buy them, but if not, they're just not on my list at all, or at least at the very bottom. But for the most part, look, if I get stuff early, if I get stuff on clearance and get, good deals on them, every single Lego Star Wars set I eventually want. I'd want every single thing in my collection. That's just the truth of it. I am kind of a completionist collector, and I'm working my way little by little, and hopefully within maybe 4, 5, 6 years, I can finally get caught up and, rebuy most of my old collection, rebuild it, buy new copies, keep up with everything coming out nowadays. But there's my thoughts. So next up, we have Captain Rex Studios here with what are the best minifigs to invest in right now? Keep up the great work. So this will kind of be more of a broad kind of answer because I actually have a video coming out here pretty soon. A little bit later in the year, probably like May or June-ish, probably halfway through the year, pretty much going over what minifigures are probably the best, because then by that point we'll pretty much know what the entire 2023 wave is, spring, summer, and fall, everything like that. We'll know exactly what's kind of coming out by then. So but right now, what I do gotta say is I think based off of just relevance and the fact of it's seeming like for the rest of the year we're not going to get the Bad Batch minifigures, we're not going to get the armor or Paz Vizsla. I do think those like two sets, like the Mandalorian Forge, the Bad Batch shuttle, and even like Bo-Katan's ship right here, I think even this, they're all retired right now, coincidentally, but you guys can still possibly find them somewhere lingering, Barnes & Noble, a random Target shelf, somewhere online, Facebook Marketplace for kind of retail price. And I think those three sets with all those minifigure selections, including even the Bo-Katan now, think about it, like that Bo-Katan, as much as she's mass produced to do that foil bag, I really got to say, I think those three sets and those three sets of minifigures together are really going to be interesting to see kind of where they go, because it's seeming like in 2023, we're not going to get any direct kind of replacements of those minifigures to kind of ruin those previous values. So there's my thoughts on that. Kind of take the information how you want, but I definitely think that's something, at least those sets and those minifigures are something to continue to kind of look into, more so kind of how I thought, 2 months ago, maybe some of those might actually get kind of, blocked. We might get the same Bo-Katan again. We might get the armor, Paz Vizsla, and Mandalorian Season 3 sets. We might get a Bad Batch shuttle upgrade, or, at least Bad Batch sets with the new Bad Batch. Although I do got to say, though, I think those three sets are definitely the ones to look into the most with those minifigure selections. The Darky LMAO right here. Ask LBS, how long do you estimate your Bricklink store to remain 20% off? I have a large purchase I'm planning. So to pretty much just sum up that question really quick and announce to all of you guys, actually this entire weekend, the rest of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm actually going back down to a 25% off all parts and minifigures and 15% off all sets. So I'm running a pretty big sale this weekend. Just kind of, again, just sell more stuff, build up more capital, keep the train rolling, if that makes any sense. Just get more sales nonetheless. And if you guys want to, help me out, get some good deals on some parts and minifigs, link down below, Indie Brick Den over on Bricklink. And, this entire weekend, I will be running that sale. And, you know, again, your order will be shipping out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So thanks for the question. And yeah, so it's actually 25% off now, man. Moving on to Eli Kip right here. I heard you mention you picked up a dropship in ATOT. Is it worth the money to buy a sealed one, or do I just find an open one in really good shape? I'm looking to buy one in the next several months. Thanks, and keep up the great content. So yeah, first off, I will say, you know, yes, I did buy one back at Brick World. I got it for a really good deal. $699, 100% complete, you know, really good stickers, and, you know, non-yellowed and with minifigures and everything. And it's definitely worth, you know, that $700 price point, I feel. You know, used ones are still going for, again, depending on condition, depending on how much you want to really kind of rebuild, you know, mess with yellowing, you know, missing a minifigure or two. You know, it's ranging from about $800 to, you know, $1,200 right now for a used one. And the market for a sealed one's like $2,500. And what I can say is, look, there's a big, you know, again, if you're worried about yellowing on the dropship, that's one thing. Definitely keep that in mind. You know, if you want to just make sure it's non-yellowed, 100% brand new, you know, sealed might be the route you have to go. But what I will say is, after building those sets, as much as they're really, really cool, and I love them, very nostalgic, great builds. I've got the dropship over there, ATOT behind me. I would never in a million years pay $2,500 to crack that seal and get those two builds in return. And that's just my honest opinion. That is not worth it in my opinion. Not even close. You know, I would definitely recommend just, you know, spending $1,000, you know, getting a good condition used one and messing around, maybe replace a couple parts or whatever, be out the door for $1,100 and call it a day on that one. I do not think it's worth spending over double your money and cracking those seals, losing half that value just to get those two builds like brand new. I mean, sure, you know, building stuff sealed is definitely an experience, but if you want my opinion, dude, it's not worth $2,500, man. Especially not, you know, cracking the seals, losing half your value on the spot. Just ain't worth it, man. So there's my thoughts. Although, you know, again, it's a great set, and I recommend it to anyone that you can find it for a good deal. So next up, we have Nick Roosh right here. When do you think we can get leaked images of the rest of the May sets, and when is the right time for the full wave to be officially revealed? So when is the right time? Quite frankly, I want it to be as late as possible, because as a content creator here, I would love for LEGO not to actually reveal them officially until, you know, say April 25th, you know, like 5 days beforehand, like they're doing with the Fang fighter, because then that leaves me the entire month of April to get those sets early and possibly even be the, you know, the very first person to reveal those sets, and let alone review them, like with the 501st Battle Pack and the TIE Bomber. So in my opinion, look, if LEGO, you're watching this, I recommend you reveal them on April 30th, one day before May 1st, and you let them all get leaked out beforehand. So that's my recommendation to LEGO for that. When do I think we can get leaked images of them? Quite frankly, man, you know, again, we saw the Endor Brickheadz the other day. I don't doubt for a second here within about the next 10 days or so, because a lot of these mom and pop shops will start getting these sets in early April, and that's just the truth of it. At that point, they will get leaked out. People will be buying them here shortly, and pictures will surface online. You know, whether they're blurry, HD, full reviews, I don't doubt for a second. I think within 14 days from now, we will see images of, you know, every single May set, including that Fang fighter set that LEGO is stupidly waiting until 5 days before release. Like, and they actually think that's going to hold out until then and not get leaked beforehand. I mean, so we're going to get spoiled with something about one minifigure in the finale, just truthfully, once that set gets revealed. So there's that, but I think within about 14 days, man. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. You know, knock on wood, hopefully I can be the first one to actually review them again, like the previous sets. Thanks, man. Right here we have Captain Keeley Forever, and this actually kind of ties into the ATOT and dropship question. He says, what are your thoughts on parting out sets on Bricklink versus buying it used? Do you find one way to be easier and more cost effective? And so look, it's all kind of subjective at the end of the day, depending on what set you're looking at. But, you know, ideally, a lot of these people are looking for these more expensive ones. You know, the UCS shuttles, you have the UCS Slave 1s, ATOT and dropships. And from what I've kind of learned about it is I've attempted it in the past. I've looked into it. I've really ran those numbers. And for the sets that I've tried it in the past for, it's never really come out to be worth it of a deal, because bottom line of, you have to factor in, like, look, say you're doing like the UCS Slave 1, you know, you're looking at about a 2,000 piece set. You're going to be getting that from at least 4 or 5 different Bricklink stores, if not even more, you know, from some of those rarer parts in there. And so you're looking at, you know, say another $20, $30, $35, $40 in shipping cost, you know, from 6 different sellers. You're looking at, you probably will have to get something international. It's just the truth of it. You'll probably have to mix in an international order at some point, unless you want to pay even more in the USA market. And, you know, minifigures included. I mean, like, that UCS Slave 1 there, if you just run the numbers, man, you can get a used one complete for like $400 or so. And the minifigures themselves are over 200 bucks. They're, just genuinely. I mean, the Boba Fett himself is like, 170. The rest of them, you're pushing about 200 bucks for those minifigures. Just that trans clear window piece, the cockpit piece, that's another $100. So you're looking at $300 for 4 minifigures and a windscreen. And the rest of the 2,000 parts will not cost you only 80 bucks. And again, that's pre-shipping even. You're paying $40, $50 in shipping. UCS shuttle, if you want the plaque for it, the sticker itself is 150 bucks. The windscreen I think is about 10 bucks in new condition. And again, at the end of the day, man, you really got to run those numbers. Maybe look in your own personal collection first and see if you have a lot of it to begin with. But from everything I've kind of looked into, it's just not worth it because you're going to be waiting, you say 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 different sellers, and maybe at the end of the day you're saving 50 bucks. But then you have to kind of organize everything, make sure everything is right, and just at the end of the day, I don't think it's worth it. So take the information how you want, but from everything I know, I find just buying it just complete used, looking for a little bit of a deal somewhere, getting lucky on Facebook Marketplace is way easier than coming up with 5 to 10 different Bricklink orders for a 2,000 piece set. Then last question for this week, guys, we have Crunch Bricks right here. Ask LBS, if LEGO were to lose their license of Star Wars, what would you do? So that's kind of the everlasting question, I guess. It's like, do I, would I still collect LEGO? Would I still have a YouTube channel? And I think the short answer is yes. I definitely think I would still have a YouTube channel. Of course, I'm predominantly LEGO Star Wars, but I do dabble in a little bit with other themes, but it would kind of be a huge transition point. If I were to not have LEGO Star Wars anymore, I would probably make this every bit of probably a LEGO Marvel, LEGO Speed Champions, and LEGO Castle channel, if I'm being honest. Those are probably the top 3 themes I would kind of maybe move into a bit more, but maybe make my videos a little bit more broad anyway. A lot of the stuff I cover would probably be a little bit more just kind of covering LEGO news, leaks, rumors, information kind of in general more so. But it would definitely suck. It would be a big blow to LifeBricks and definitely probably halt the channel's growth for a while. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I think LEGO is making enough money with Star Wars, and I think vice versa. Sell through wise, that hopefully, knock on wood, we don't got to worry about that for another 20, 30, 40 years. But anything could happen. If anything, if the license does go over to say like Mega Constructs, they've actually gotten a lot better over the years. Still something I don't buy often. I only buy the Pokemon Mega Constructs. But if Star Wars went over there, I don't want them to. But at least I would still probably continue to buy them. Whether I make content over them, buy every single thing, who knows? But that would be like the second best option compared to a lot of this other stuff like Creo or some of these other companies, But so there's that. Definitely something I don't want to think about. But there's all the questions for this week, guys. Kind of a shorter week, but like I said, I have a live stream later today, so I want to make sure I get this uploaded, have enough time in between. And like I said, I will be building this set tonight. I really want to after watching The Mandalorian. And just doing a little bit of, trying to build up as much money for that fundraiser. So again, don't feel obligated, but we are trying to just maximize money on that. I get no percent of it. YouTube gets no percent of it. So every dollar you guys donate goes right to the charity. So there's that, guys. Leave your thoughts down below on all these questions, and also leave your questions down below for next week. This weekend's actually gonna be a pretty good one. I've got the UCS Imperial Shuttle review coming out. Then I've also got a huge like $1,000 LEGO Star Wars mystery haul unboxing. I've stockpiled like 7 or 8 or 10 packages over the past month, and I'm gonna open them all up in one video. So I'll see you guys all then. Please want to comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for you guys later. Bye, guys, and stay safe.